Hey everyone, hope you guys are having a good evening. Sorry, I forgot to turn my my intro on. It's been one of those days, right? So let's talk about the ban. I know y'all want to talk about it. And for those of y'all who've been following me on YouTube for a while, one thing that you guys know is that typically I do this show in a much more formal format than I do on TikTok. And tonight we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to do the semi-formal format, but then I want to talk to you guys because I can see your comments and I want to make sure that we talk to you guys and answer some questions. And we have things to talk about with Meta because I see the questions coming in from like Becky, and we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about Amazon, and we're going to talk about this whole thing. Now, here's the thing. I know that the demographic on YouTube, a lot of people here, who aren't coming from TikTok, who aren't coming from Insta, a lot of people on YouTube, who are just my YouTube only followers. A lot of y'all don't like TikTok, and I get it. I understand. It's the app is not for everybody, but you know what? You know what? I prepared something. Let me just do it this way because I wanted to make sure that I got every thought in that I wanted to get in. So I'm going to start with this, and then we can kind of talk about this. All right. Let's just talk about it because it's incredibly important. The TikTok ban went into effect tonight. The app started slowing down more and more. I tried to actually upload a video probably about 45 minutes before it went dead. It was actually kind of funny. I was in the garage. I just cleaned the garage today, and I was standing in front of my DeLorean, and I was talking to Alyssa about it, and I was like, if you've ever seen Back to the Future, it kind of feels like the version like in the second one where Biff Tannen gets the almanac, and when they go back in time, it is this alternate 1985 as opposed to the one we left. Right. And yeah. So I feel like that's what we're in right now. It's kind of weird. Gone, but it's gone dark. And they didn't have to go dark. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let me just read this. I'm going to read this. So this ban isn't just a blow to creators like me, right? But to millions of small businesses, our economy, users of TikTok, even our freedom of speech. But here's the kicker. I'm going to educate you guys right now. Did you know Meta? Most of y'all know what Meta does, but in case you don't, they're the company that owns WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. Did you know that Meta played a huge role in getting us to where we are today? I'm going to break it down for you guys. Because this ban isn't about national security. It's about profits, competition, and corporate lobbying. And then I'll start with the facts, okay? In 2022 alone, Meta spent over $20 million to lobby U.S. lawmakers. That's more than most of the other tech companies spent on lobbying combined. And what were they lobbying for? To frame TikTok. I'm not even exaggerating with this. To frame TikTok as a national security threat. They leaned into fears about China and data privacy and pushing the narrative that TikTok is dangerous for Americans. Meanwhile, Meta's own platforms, Facebook and Instagram, have a history of privacy violations, data leaks, and even manipulation of political content on both sides. They manipulated it for Republicans and they manipulated it for Democrats. And I see Anne Marie's comment about Biden, and I see somebody saying stop blaming Biden, Trump. We're going to talk about Trump and Biden here in a few. Just bear with me, guys. All right. At the end of the day, guys, though, Meta was not concerned about our security. That's not what they were doing. They were doing it to crush their biggest competition. TikTok was outperforming them in nearly every category. User engagement, younger audiences, and global reach. Meta could not compete. So they took a different path, right? They started trying to eliminate TikTok because that is what Mark Zuckerberg does. Let's give you, for those of y'all who were too young to know this or who weren't in it when it all happened, let me give you a brief history on Meta, okay? Mark Zuckerberg did not invent the Facebook, okay? Mark Zuckerberg wasn't Somebody in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe my wife can if she's in here. He invented like a site that was like, not Hot or Not, but like Hot or Not, where I think you compared women, you rated their looks, and you compared them to, I think maybe animals. I could be wrong on that, but you rated women. That's what you did. Okay, that's what he did. A typical incel move. That's what he did. But he didn't create Facebook. The Winklevoss twins created Facebook, and they enlisted Mark Zuckerberg's help. In fact, I would encourage anybody, if you have not seen The Social Network or you haven't seen it in a long time, go give that a watch. Okay? Go give that a watch. But he stole it. And then he forced the Winklevoss twins out of it. He screwed them over and forced them out of it. And that's what he did. Then and by the way, when Facebook started, it was incredible. For those of y'all who remember when Facebook first started back in 2004, when you could only be on it for being a college student, you had to have a college email. I was on it in 2004. I was a very early adopter. Once it got out of Harvard and a few others and he opened up to more schools, I was one of the first on. In fact, my friend Wes came over and was like, you need to sign up for the Facebook. And I was like, I don't need this. I have MySpace. Right? And he made me sign up for it. And I've had it since 2004. I've had it 21 years. I rarely post on my Facebook. Rarely. And you can bet your ass that I don't see posting on it for the foreseeable future. If it wasn't for the DeLorean groups that I'm in for the car that I have, for when I need parts and advice, I would download all my data and leave it. But I'm not going to post in it. I'm just going to lurk. And if I have a question about something in particular, I can call a friend. And if they're not, and I'm going to also, and I'll do another video on this later, just so y'all know. So you might want to hit the subscribe or follow button, whatever. I think YouTube subscribe. There is a way to go through and basically change your settings so that it makes it a lot harder for Meta to make money off you as a user. Okay. But let me. I went down a tangent. Let me get back to it. So he stole the Facebook from the Winklevoss twins, and then within about 5-6 years, Facebook kind of turned to shit. I mean, that's the bottom line. Facebook became just a horrible place to be. And it's gotten progressively worse since then. Then then Instagram came out. And Instagram was an incredible company. It was great. When Instagram first began, it was great. And then Mark Zuckerberg bought it. And 5 years later, it was absolute trash. That guy has the opposite of the Midas touch. And he is a problem. And because he does not have the ability to create anything himself or come up with anything himself, his issue is to steal it or to crush them. That's what he does. All right. So then, when TikTok started blowing up, what did Meta do? They didn't innovate, right? Because he doesn't know how. They copied it. They launched Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels, which features the features of it are directly inspired by TikTok short form videos. But here's the thing, as a creator, I don't know if any of y'all in here have ever tried to record a video on Reels. It is a pain. It is an absolute pain. In fact, I would go on to say that almost 99% of the Reels that you see were recorded in TikTok. And then put into Reels. Every one of them that I do that you guys see, I record them for TikTok and I recycle them to Reels. That's why I've always kept my TikTok videos under 1 minute and 30, so I don't have to redo them for Reels, because Reels is 1 minute and 30. All right. But here's the thing. Guys. Despite Meta's resources, Reels never reached TikTok's level of popularity or engagement. Zuckerberg couldn't beat TikTok with Reels, so he turned to a strategy that has worked with him before, either acquiring the company or crushing the competition. Now remember, like I said, Zuckerberg didn't invent Instagram, WhatsApp, or Facebook. He stole Facebook and Meta bought the other two. And now, without the option to buy TikTok, they've used their money to lobby lawmakers into banning it. Again, $20 million, almost more than all the other tech companies combined. But let's talk about the big question. Let's ask the real big question here. Is the TikTok ban really about data privacy and national security? Or is it really about protecting Meta's profits? I personally think that if it was about security, then other platforms or sites like Shein, AliExpress, and Temu would be gone, right? Because those are also owned by foreign companies in China, and they operate within the US. China's a big threat to us, right? The phone that you're holding in your hand, if you're watching this in your phone, was made in China. The TV, if you're watching this on, was made in China. The tablet was made in China. They're this massive threat, but they're our biggest trade partner. If you have Alexas or Google Homes in your house, these are like the smart assistants. Guess where they were made? And let's talk about data real quick. How often do you get an email from Equifax, Experian, Facebook, your credit card company, a store that you shop at, that you've gotten a data breach? How many of you gotten that? How often do you get it? 5, 10 times a year? I do, at least. That information is put on the dark web. It gets sold. If China wants our data, they can get our data. It's very easy. It's very easy. So, if China really wanted to listen to us, it'd be very easy for them to do it on anything. So all the people who come on somebody by comments like, I don't like that China shit. That's what they said. I'm like, as you type this from your phone made in China or your computer made in China. Right? Now, let's not forget, though, that Meta collects an enormous amount of data. Enormous, unfathomable amount of our data. How many times have you thought of something? You haven't even said it. You've thought about something. And they've listened to you so much that they knew that you were going to think about this thing. They knew you were going to want this thing before you even knew it. Think about that. You think about a toaster, you're already getting ads for that toaster. You're already getting ads for that toaster. And you'll see the ads on Instagram, on Facebook. The truth is, guys, and you know this, that TikTok banning it isn't solving the issue of our privacy data. It's just giving Meta a bigger piece of the pile. And I see y'all's questions coming in, and we are going to address these questions. I promise you. Just let me get through my stuff. Right? This isn't about competition, guys. I mean, that's not the only thing it's about, I should say. It's also about free speech. Now, people will say, come on here and say, well, free speech, they're not about free speech, they censor. And they do. They censor. They all censor. Still free speech. They're still private companies. You can still say what you want. You can have consequences for saying what you want, and that's what happens. They'll take something down because you might say something that is incredibly hurtful to somebody else. That's not you being a bully on an app when they're trying to protect people's mental health. That's not violating your free speech. It's just violating your ability to be an asshole. That's what it is. When I'm an asshole, like I had a video I posted today, I was a jerk to somebody. They took my video down. It was a video where I'm trying to save their jobs, the people who gave me the CV, and I appealed it and I lost. And I'm like, I'm trying to save y'all's jobs and y'all are going to see whatever. Okay. Steph just said I wouldn't trust a China-based company. That iPhone that you're holding, Apple may be the one that distributes it to you. It was made in China. If you're holding an Android, that Android your phone holding, the company that manufactures it, Apple slaps their logo on. Made in China. Made in China. All right. Now, in America, we pride ourselves on freedom of speech, freedom to express ourselves, to share our videos. TikTok has been a platform where creators like me, other creators, have been able to thrive and speak our truth. I've used my platform. I said Apple or Android stuff. Apple or Android. Whatever phone you're holding was not made in the United States. I can tell you that. Whatever TV you watch, whatever computer you have was made in China. I can tell you that. 100%. 100%. And my platform in particular we talked, I mean, think of the things that we accomplished on that platform when it first started. You know what? For those of y'all on YouTube who don't know this, I'll tell you guys real quick. I'm going to go on this and we're going to, you know what? I'm going to put a pin in that. We're going to finish this. Okay. TikTok has allowed small businesses to grow. 7 million small businesses. Not only am I a creator and an affiliate link or an affiliate creator, you know, like for TikTok Shop, but I'm also a TikTok Shop seller. Even on here, I wrote this. I wrote this in 3 other books. Well, 2 other books, 3 books total. These boundaries is the only ones I have left. I sold out of everything else. And I haven't reordered because I didn't know what was going to happen with the ban. Right? So I do all of them. TikTok is my primary. We have other sources of income, but TikTok is my primary source of income. And I do it because I love it. And I'm going to come back to that before I get too far down that pile, or that road. But a lot of great things have come from TikTok. And it's not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's perfect. Okay. But it's allowed 7 million small businesses to thrive. Marginalized voices to be heard. Issues that you didn't know about, now you know about, and communities to come together. But now a massive corporation, Meta, is trying to shut that down. This isn't the America we want. We should be in a country that encourages innovation, that values freedom of expression, that lets creators thrive no matter where they come from. And Meta's role in this ban shows just how powerful corporations can shape our laws, and shape our laws and limit our choices, all in the name of profit. It's actually terrifying. And no matter what you feel politically, whether you are a Democrat, whether you are a Republican, whether you are an independent, whether you are non-political and never voted before, this should terrify you. It is gross government overreach. And at the end of the day, it's not just about TikTok. It's about the future of social media in general. The creator economy, our freedom of speech, our freedom to choose the platforms that we want to use, that we want to participate with. We can't let one company control everything. This is our country and we deserve better. Now, that's what I had prepared. And now I want to talk to you guys about some stuff. And then I'm going to answer your questions after that. Okay. So if you have questions, you can save them, you can do them, whatever. By the way, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, which is the same as a follow here. All right. I would appreciate it because we're trying to grow this, trying to get it up. So for those of y'all who don't know my story on TikTok, some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. I'll just kind of tell y'all. I'll be as brief about it as I can. All right. I went viral accidentally. I am 42. I was in my late 30s when I got on TikTok, and it was never an intention of mine. When I recorded the first video that I recorded, the one that went viral, because I posted a couple other things just for fun. We were right before the pandemic, but my wife and I were basically in the pandemic before the pandemic even started. For those of y'all who don't know, my daughter was born at 29 weeks and 3 days. We spent 43 days in the NICU. My wife and my daughter both almost died. And because she was born so early, she did not have an immune. It's not one of those things like expose her to germs. It'll help her get an immune system. No, the common cold could kill her. In fact, I was a medical rep. I sold medical devices in my previous life. And I worked with nursing homes at the time the pandemic rolled around. And because I worked with nursing homes primarily, I couldn't go to those nursing homes. So I was homebound doing everything from the phones, computers, and whatnot. And the one time I had to go wasn't to a nursing home. It was actually to a corporate office that ran a chain of nursing homes. I came back with RSV. My daughter had gotten the Synagis shot, which we had to fight for because she was 3 days past the limit. And our doctor had to do a peer-to-peer and everything like that because healthcare in America is just absolute trash. Thank you, Luigi, for at least bringing that to our attention, more so than we already knew. I got RSV, and despite the fact that she had had the Synagis shot, which is supposed to prevent RSV, she got it anyways and was hospitalized, had to go to the hospital on oxygen in an ambulance. So we were struggling with that for a long period of time, and the pandemic hit, etc. Now, at that same time, my mom and I had gone no contact, and I was very much struggling with that. My wife knew that I was struggling with that because it was hard. It was hard mourning somebody who's still alive, basically. And she's like, you ought to make a video, right? You ought to make a video. It'd be cathartic for you, it'd be therapeutic for you. So I did. And I didn't expect anything to come of it, but I woke up the next day with 45,000 followers. And then it kept growing, and y'all kept wanting to hear more stories. And then Gabby Petito happened. And that case changed everything. It took me to the true crime space. My wife basically said, hey, sit down, watch the Moab footage when Brian Laundrie was being pulled over and Gabby were pulled over by the police in Utah. And I was like, oh my gosh, Brian Laundrie acts just like my mom. The gaslighting, the mannerisms, the way he speaks to her, the way he speaks about her, everything. I started covering true crime. And we flew banners around the Laundrie's house with y'all's help. Because of y'all, I was able to write 3 books. Because of y'all, I've been on the news multiple times, and countless documentaries have gone places and done things with this app that I would have never imagined possible. We filled a nursing home angel tree, right? We filled a NICU with from a big company because of the presence we had on that app. My friend, who I don't think is in here right now, Dan, missing in the USA, his work brought 122 missing kids home on that app. The app brings a lot of good. It does bring bad. It does bring bad, but it brings a lot of good. The other thing that I didn't mention in my little spiel earlier is how many of our legislators own stock. Big amounts of stock, 5 and 6 digits of numbers of stock in Meta. So y'all are aware. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is, let's talk about politics for a minute. And I can do this from a bipartisan standpoint. Now, when the ban first started coming about, we called our senators, we called our congressmen, we talked to them, we told them we didn't want this. 170 million Americans is nearly half of our population. Nearly half of our population. And our senators and our congressmen said, tough. We're going to do this anyways. This is what we want to do. We're going to do this anyways. Tough. What our legislators seem to forget, and what we as constituents seem to forget, is the fact that we elect people to go to Washington to represent us. To represent us. We go out and we vote, and we elect people to go to Washington to fight for what we, the people, want. And it seems they have lost sight of that. And so here's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do as you think about this. Now, personally speaking, I believe that we are going to have TikTok back within 36 hours. Donald Trump has said that he was planning to do it. We've seen Show has been invited as a VIP to the inauguration. We see the videos that he posted before it went down. We saw the message when you go to try to log into TikTok. Okay, and I'm going to circle back to that stuff in a second. So I believe it's going to be back, but that's not the point. The point is how we got here in the first place. The point is how we got here in the first place. And where else will this stop? What if they banned YouTube because they decided this changes the way that all social media can be handled going forward? So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Now, I know that there are a lot of you guys watching who never vote outside of party lines, okay? For a very long time in my life, actually until I would say the last 10 years, I was a straight, maybe less than that. I was a straight ticket party voter. I voted for one party only. That was it. That party aligned with my views, I thought, and that's what I voted for. And then I realized that no party gives a shit about you. A politician has one job, and that's to get reelected. So for all of my people who I've been there with you, who vote single party, my Democrats and my Republicans, who only vote red, who only vote blue, here's what I want to encourage you, and here's what I want to challenge you to do, as much as it might pain you to do this. If in your district, in your state, your senator or your congressman voted for this ban, voted against your freedom of speech, voted against your freedom of expression, vote them out. That means if it's a Republican congressman and you're a Republican, vote for the Democrat who runs against them. If you are a Democrat who only votes Democrat and it's a Democrat congressman that voted for the ban, vote for the Republican. Vote against it for one election cycle. Step out of your comfort zone for one and vote for the legislators, the senators and the congressmen. Vote out the ones that did it, because that's all they care about is the money, the power, the job, and the influence. Martha Stewart goes to prison for insider trading. Congress gets nothing from it. Right? That's what we need to do. And somebody in here said protesting. Let's talk about that, because when they did this strategically to take away your ability, your right to assemble, your right to protest. And let me explain how. When this all started, we did not know who was going to be president who was going to be elected president in 2024. At that time, the two biggest contenders were Biden and Trump. And one of them at that point in time was going to win. It changed to Harris and Trump. And we knew one of those were going to win, but it didn't matter who won, because the inauguration was going to be on January 20th regardless. The ban went into effect the day before the inauguration. All right. Technically on the East Coast, it's the 19th. The inauguration's tomorrow. Where I am in Central Time, in 24 minutes, it'll be the 19th. The inauguration is pretty much tomorrow. Okay? And they strategically did this so that you couldn't get a permit to protest in Washington, because you can't get near the Capitol before the inauguration. With the current president, the outgoing president and vice president, and the incoming vice president and vice president there. I think J.D. Vance is going. I know that he was thinking about skipping it, but I think he's going to be there. Plus all the other leaders, the legislators, Congress, Senate, etc., that are going to be there. You can't get near Washington. You can't get near Washington. So they did this strategically so you and I can't protest. Because I'll tell you something. I would have been in my car. I live in Nashville. I would have been in my car on my way to Washington, D.C. to march with you. If we could get 1% of TikTok users to Washington, that's 1.7 million people. That's more than the Million Man March. You guys talking about Tom Cotton. Give me a second. I'm gonna circle back to him. But here's what I want you guys to remember when it comes to these presidents. Okay? I want you to think about this, because now we're relying on Biden and Trump to save us. Donald Trump got the ball rolling on the ban. Biden signed off on the ban. Biden now says he's not going to enforce it, and Trump's going to save us. They're saving us from them, what they did on this. They're saving us from they're saving us from what they did. They started. So you can sit here and blame Biden, you can sit here and blame Trump. They are both to blame for where we're at. Now, Trump likes TikTok now. He attributes it to being a big part of why he was elected with the younger voter. And I would probably say that that's an accurate statement on his part. So he wants to save it. He sees the value in it, and I appreciate that. But it doesn't change the fact of what I just said. Now, you guys mentioned Tom Cotton. In the chat, people who are live, and if you're watching this on the replay, because this does get recorded on YouTube and it will be there. Who in here, show a hand, show of comments, who here is from Arkansas? Who here is from Arkansas? I'm curious. Do I have anybody from Arkansas in here? It doesn't matter if I do. I'll tell you anyways. Okay, Laney is. All right, my Arkansas people. I'm in Tennessee, so I can say this the same way. You guys have parts of your state that are beautiful. Tennessee has parts of it that are beautiful too. Not all of it's beautiful. You guys are good people, hardworking people. And your state is always coming in last or near last on everything. Healthcare, maternal mortality, education. And why is that? Because y'all don't deserve that. Y'all deserve better. Y'all aren't dumb people. You deserve good health care. You deserve representatives that look out for you. Right? Right? Y'all deserve that. And this goes for Mississippi and Alabama and Tennessee, because we're all kind of in that area. Y'all deserve better. It's the Tom Cottons of the world that you need to vote out to elevate your states. If your state is consistently ranked toward the bottom in all of these things, it is time to vote out your leaders. I've not met your governor, but I'm a little familiar with your governor. Yeah, you guys, exactly. Arkansas deserves not to be a welfare state. You guys are the state that houses Walmart, one of the biggest companies in the world. Right? All of these career politicians, all of these guys, look, let me tell you something about this, okay? These politicians, the average age of a U.S. senator is 63. Think about how old Mitch McConnell is. Think how old Nancy Pelosi is. I mean, even Trump and Biden, think about how old they are. Why is that generation making the decisions? Millennials right now are the largest generation, and we are still being held hostage by boomers and silent gen. And no offense to my baby boomers, I love you guys. But my point is that a lot of these people are out of touch with technology. They don't know what TikTok is. They don't know what it does. They don't understand what YouTube is half the time, or Instagram. They probably have to have their staffers print out their emails and have their grandkids set up their Wi-Fi. Right? But my point is that you have a lot of people who have been in Congress, who have been in the Senate for decades. And they have no clue what they're doing. They're so out of touch because they have been in this public service life for so long that they really don't give a shit about their constituents. So they have no idea what's going on. In America, we need to be done with this. Right? I have a platform and I will use it. And this is a totally bipartisan conversation because Democrats and Republicans, we should all be able to come together and be like, hey, them limiting the way that we speak, the way that we express ourselves, the way that we get and share ideas, them limiting that, them monopolizing that, that's not okay. And if you are an American, a true American, no matter which side you are, then see past your party lines and come together and realize that. Right? I want it to hurt Mark Zuckerberg. I want it to hurt him bad where it counts. Now, that's what I had. Let's take your questions. I see Gabby asked a question. Gabby's asked it a few times. Do I think that losing TikTok will be good for our society as when we start visiting each other in real life again? I don't think that visiting each other in real life again is going to happen. I think that, number one, TikTok will be back within 36 hours. But that trend, Gabby, was happening long before TikTok, right? People have busy lives. People work multiple jobs to try to survive. You know, they don't have time to do things. You know? I don't think so. But here's where I think it becomes negative for our society. When you have Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, I mean, X is not nearly as big of a challenge as Twitter. X is a very different platform than the Meta platforms. So I'm not even going to get into Elon right now. I'll talk about just Zuckerberg. But when you have Zuckerberg controlling the vast majority of social media, the most populous social media in the country, and the best we have to offer from that is Facebook and Instagram, I think that the sharing of ideas, the information that we get from each other, from sharing and knowing what's going on, I think that that's going to be a problem. I think that, you know, when we have an Amber Alert go out in Tennessee, or any state for that matter, and we can put out an urgent breaking news, we have an Amber Alert, we're looking for, a gold Ford, F-150 license plate this, they're leaving Minnesota or they're leaving Michigan, they're going to this way, they're going to that way, find them, and we find them. That kind of stuff is important. Again, my friend, I don't think he's in here, but my friend Dan, Missing in USA is his handle on TikTok. I might be on Instagram too. His work in the last 2 years on the app brought home 122 missing children. 122 families got their children back specifically because of what he did. And yes, there's fluff on there and there's entertainment on there, but there's real stuff on there too. It depends on your algorithm, right? And the algorithm knows you. And again, I'm not here saying that, and here's what I want you guys to know. Like I said at the beginning of this, I strongly believe that Donald Trump is going to sign the 90-day extension. I feel confident in that. I feel like they're going to figure out a way to deal with this. And I don't think that show is going to have to sell off the algorithm. This is just my guess at the moment, okay? But that's not the point that's going to be back in 36 hours. That is not the point. The point is getting here in the first place where it could be gone forever, This is a slippery slope that we have now opened ourselves up to, that the Supreme Court has ruled on, that Congress has allowed. This is a slippery slope to control social media from the American people. And as an American, you should be pissed, guys. You should be pissed. Tim Creative asked why the 90 days, 3 months will fly, because that's what the extension is that the president can do, and then he can have more time to work on it. That's why. Somebody said Louisiana's worse off in Arkansas. I was using Arkansas as a point because that's where Tom Cotton is. But yes, if you have bad legislators in Arkansas, vote them out. After 90 days, we don't know yet. There he is, this guy right here. Where is my buddy? Where are you? In my opinion, Dan does not have the biggest following. I think he's close to 40, 50,000. I think his following needs to be a lot better. In my opinion, the guy who I have pinned right here, missing in USA, Dan, is one of the most important people on TikTok's app. Dan, I really mean that from you. I really mean that. In fact, actually, Dan, here, I want to do something for you. Dan, I'm going to invite you to come in. It's a little bit different that we have to do it. I want people to understand what you do. I'm going to put this to, I'm going to message you directly on Discord with the link. If you want to come in, damn it. And then we'll keep talking about that. But I think that the work that he does is some of the most important that we possibly have. And I wanted to come up at least for just a moment to explain kind of what he does. If he wants to. But that's the point. And y'all should be and I want y'all fired up. I want you guys furious. I love that we have 750 people in here and this live, this stream keeps going. And we're going to keep answering questions. Gator Girl wants me to tell you how many people I've had on TikTok, and that many. That's my follower count as the app shutting down. It shows 1.6, but I have 1,566,841 followers on TikTok. We brought attention to countless stories, found people, spread awareness, brought attention to people who normally would never get in the news. You know? Somebody said, why didn't, I want to answer this question. You asked a good question. Christian asked a good question. Why didn't they sell to an American company that years to do? They did not have years. They had about 9 months to do it, and which isn't enough time to divest. Let me put this into perspective real quick for you. And I'm not picking on you, Christian. I'm just giving you an example. So please don't misconstrue me as like attacking. I swear I'm not. I'm just trying to answer your question. And I'm going to bring Dan on after this because I see him. He's in the wings. So they had about 9 months to do it. Now, when everything happened with Luigi allegedly shooting the CEO, Brian Thompson, Nancy Pelosi and Josh Hawley co-authored a bill talking about insurance companies divesting their PBMs, the pharmacy benefit manager companies that they run. So basically, if you don't know, I don't know what you know or you don't know. So I'll give you the basics. The insurance companies own the pharmacy benefits so they can control the price of the scripts. They can also then get paid and figure out what they're going to pay on it. It's kind of a pretty good racket that they have going for them. So in order to help with healthcare costs, they basically said, we're going to introduce this bill that forces pharmacy benefit management companies to divest those PBMs. And we're not going to give them 1 year to do it. We're not going to give them 2 years to do it. We're going to give them 3 years to do it. So the time that TikTok gave wasn't enough. The channels that the Supreme Court or Congress set up to do this were outside the normal channels. Gigi, this is first of all, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to hold on real quick. I can do something for this. There we go. Thank you for the super chat. That goes beyond my thing. If you want to email me and we have a talk about that goes beyond my scope, but let me know. Real quick, and I'm going to keep answering y'all's questions, so don't go anywhere. And please don't attack. Look, guys, here's the thing. Don't attack somebody. I see some people saying, coming at them for Trump or coming at them for Biden. Please don't do that. Like right now, we are all in a boat together. Let's just be in that boat and let's just fight to do what we need to do to get TikTok back. Okay. Us getting at each other's throats is what they want to do. They want to keep us divided. So let's not do this. Come together for a common good. We can go back to disliking each other later. But right now, let's come together. Because right now, the government is the enemy. And we're all the victims of them. So just saying, we need to be decided. If you're old enough to remember 9/11, be 9/12. Be who we were on 9/12. I'm gonna bring Dan on. Dan, I gotta put my headphones on for you. Hold on. Oh, Dan, you're too small. Hold on. Hold on. Let me.
Mini me.
Huh?
It's a mini me.
It's a mini you. I meant what I said, buddy. You're one of the most important people on TikTok with the work you do. Would you mind explaining to the fine people the things that you do?
So, we've had a problem in this country getting Amber Alerts out quick enough and far enough. And I came to TikTok to change that. For the past 2 years, we've been putting Amber Alerts out nationwide, and we were able to bring home over 100 children safe. And it's disturbing that this happened to us.
Talk about what you've done for missing and murdered Indigenous women and children.
So they don't get notoriety. They don't get news coverage. So we have used our platform on TikTok to bring awareness to the cause, to bring awareness to the problem. And it's like, it's going on deaf ears.
I don't know how much you can say about exactly what you do, but if you'd like to share that and the people that you brought home and some of the, like, within reason, what you're able to say, kind of the missing children and people that you have brought home and you found. If you don't mind, like I said, I just really want people to understand what you do.
Okay, so anytime an Amber Alert goes out, I have a group of individuals that work behind the scenes, and anytime that alert goes out, time is critical. So not only are we pushing it out on a live stream, but we are also digging in and getting information that we could submit over to law enforcement, whether it be phone numbers, addresses, known associates, everything like that. And we have been able to do that in so many cases just through TikTok. You don't get the reach anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to, because I like to respond to things. So we know we have trolls come in and they say this. If you're an American and you're saying this, you're just a bad American. Because what happened today, even though it'll be back in 36 hours, I believe. I think you believe that too, right, Dan? We'll have it back. I hope. You're cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. I feel like there's more behind that, but we'll just leave that at that for now. But my point is that people like the guy who's made this comment, you're the reason that we need to, yeah, exactly, something that we need TikTok for that. Because what you don't realize is that what happened today is a huge blow to our First Amendment rights. And if you don't see that, you're part of the problem. That's all. Well, anything else that you want to add?
So I'll go ahead and address your comment about what do I think about the ban. So I don't trust no politician any further than I can throw them. So I will believe it when I see it. I believed that Biden was going to do something, and he didn't.
Yeah, well, and he could have.
He could have. And what makes it even worse is I didn't realize how bad it was until doing research, and we're really good at research. When you find out that Supreme Court justices have stock in Meta, when you find out that senators, all different politicians have stock in Meta, so it's a win-win situation for everybody that voted against or voted to ban TikTok.
Yeah, I agree. And somebody just said we're not going to know what happens tomorrow, and not, I can post shorts, but that's going to be about it. And I won't be posting them on Instagram or Meta. They'll be here.
Now, I've been testing out my StreamYard and everything. for YouTube because I'm not gonna stream on Instagram.
Okay. So yeah, so he does have a YouTube, same name on here, Missing in USA.
Yeah, I mean, I pulled a joke. I put it Missing in USA on TikTok.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's funny. But if you want to, when you get back to the chat, if you want to drop it in so people can follow you, I'll pin it. Oh, I know that you're as disheartened as I am. I won't make you stay up here with me, but I appreciate. I wanted to come on because I do. You know that I feel strongly about the work that you do.
Oh, I know.
And I think that these are your story is one of the many types of stories that people need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, all these families needed it, and it was taken away. And somebody's saying favorited. So as soon as TikTok went down, all of the other social media apps crashed except for Meta and YouTube. Every one of them.
Well, YouTube, the thing about YouTube is I don't think anything differently of that because YouTube is used to handling really big things
Right.
if they come on, because of the way that they've been doing this for 20 years now, give or take. Meta's been doing it for a while, but yeah, I'm surprised there was no glitches there.
It was impressive.
Somebody asked who owns YouTube. Google. Alphabet owns YouTube. So, anyways, yeah, I'm not. For at least a week, I will not. Maybe longer, depending on how angry I get over the next few days. But right now, I've got it at about a week or so because unfortunately, some of the work we do is important, and you need to get it out there. And I still have a decent following there, but I don't want to I've got to weigh what stories are really important that people need that information versus what's not as important, but I want to share it. So,
Yeah. Now, Justin, I don't know if you're well aware, it's not just the social media platforms that went down. There are gaming platforms that were also affected by this ban
interesting.
that are connected to TikTok.
That makes sense. Yeah, Meta was ready. Meta's planning on picking up the slack because people who have the addiction, Reels is going to be closest thing to go to, and just don't avoid it. Fight withdrawal. Come hang out with us. I will probably go live tomorrow night as well. I'm not getting off right now. I'm just telling y'all, but I'll probably go live tomorrow night as well, just because I know a lot of y'all are going to be one thing, and we're going to have stuff that we're going to have to talk about, I think. So, and we'll talk about some of the other things that are going on as well. Yeah, I can see, Dan, we've been friends for a while. I can see it in you. I see where you're at. I know you're exhausted from fighting just like I am.
Yeah, it's been a battle.
One that we should.
I was honored to be invited to the Say TikTok-a-thon. I didn't even think anything about that. So
well, you should have been there. You were important. So,
but I'll let you get back to your stream. I'm going to jump out.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, have a wonderful night.
You too, buddy. So, anyways, that's it. That's some of the stuff we do here. That's some of the. I feel like my lighting is brighter. I don't know. I feel like I got this red on me. Let me try to change this a little bit. I have it darker here. I feel like I'm getting a little red tint on me. Anyways, I like sitting in the dark. I feel like that's where I need to be right now. Anyways, real quick, I just want to do this. We've had a few people come in. I just want to do this real quick because I appreciate y'all. I'm going to give y'all some applauses for this. Thank you, Mary V, for becoming a member. Thank you, Black Lilith. Great to see you as always. Gigi, thank you. I want you to message me about this privately, so you can shoot an email to me, JustInTheNickOfCrime@gmail.com, so we can chat about that. Liz, thank you as well. And Justice for Crystal McCrory Jones, thank you. What's a good contact email just to suggest a case? Oh, JustInTheNickOfCrime@gmail.com. And I just want to say thank you guys for supporting me. ADT, we're going to go ahead and put you in timeout, buddy, because you're having a moment. When you're a troll account that has, I'm going to do this real quick. When you're a troll account that doesn't have a picture or doesn't offer anything that's insightful, We know that it's time for you to have a little nap, so we're going to go ahead and put you in timeout for a little bit, okay? You have a good one. How to become, there's a way, I don't know how to become a member. Somebody could probably tell you, but I don't really know. Yeah, CapCut and Eliminated down because of the same company. Now, I definitely said I want to make sure you're also from, TikTok's down everywhere in the US. I do want to reply to you guys, so if I've missed your questions and things like that, please ask. When will I go live tomorrow? Probably after my kid goes to bed. What do you think that this is? I'm an influencer and I'm talking to people. I literally have had a conversation telling people to not, influencing people to not go on Meta platforms. You can absolutely still influence with YouTube. In fact, actually, I would say that the ability to, the power on YouTube with enough followers is probably bigger than the power on TikTok. But again, I'll say this like I said to other people, you're coming in here, you're wanting to get like attention. I'm giving you the attention that you wanted, and I probably shouldn't be giving you that attention, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. Anybody who, I don't care. Here's the thing. I don't care whether you like this app. Like, okay, I can't stand Mark Zuckerberg and I can't stand Meta, but if Meta got banned, I would be fighting for it to come back because it is too big of a platform for it to go down and too many people use it for communication and so many different things. So if you are somebody who takes the stance that you do, I get it. You don't have to like TikTok. There's a million reasons to not like TikTok, but it is bad for your country. It is bad for America. That's the bottom line. LOL is making more comments that don't matter to what we're talking about, but just what we're saying. How'd you from Tiffany? Oh, thank you, Chloe. That's amazing. Tiffany's great. I recently discovered her. I believe this is a big dog and pony show. I love your question. I love your question. So to a degree, yes. To a degree, yes. Do I believe? And by the way, for the person who's saying, he said something about like China scrolling 3 hours in China, whatever. China's fighting more for our freedom of speech now. The CEO of a China-owned company is fighting more for our rights than our own politicians. Let that sink in real quick. Now, the question was, do I believe this is a big dog and pony show because Trump's inauguration is going to have serious backlash? Now, I don't know if Trump's inauguration is going to have serious backlash. I mean, here's the thing. When Biden was elected, there was backlash. When every president gets elected, there's backlash, right? There's people who are out there today protesting Trump's inauguration, right? It's going to happen. All right, it's going to happen. People were protesting. I mean, I'm not even going to get into what happened after the election with Biden. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But here's what I can tell you that I know. Okay, I know that Rokon, who is a legislator out of Silicon Valley, California. Oh, Alex, I love your comment. Give me 1 second. I'm going to come to it. Give me a second. Let me finish this one. I'm going to come to your comment. Basically, I forget where I was. I lost my track. But I'll go back and say this. The Biden administration came out and said they weren't going to enforce the ban. All right. That's what they said. He then came out and said earlier when TikTok was talking about shutting down, he said they don't have to shut down. He's like, they're doing this for a stunt. That is what the Biden administration press secretary said, that they're doing it for a stunt, that they do not have to shut down. They're basically making that decision. And here's the thing. Between Biden saying he won't enforce the ban and that particular comment, there's no court of law that would have upheld any fines or anything like that. Okay? So this is ByteDance's doing for whatever reason. Now, as far as the Trump inauguration goes, it's going to be very cold there. There's only going to be about 1,000 people that get to witness it because it's been moved indoors. So I think that there's going to be backlash to a degree. You know, you're going to have your protesters, you're going to have your people that are there. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, Donald Trump won the election. So whether you support him or you don't support him, he is going to be sworn in tomorrow, and that's it. Protesting is not going to change that. All right. Now, protesting could change something like the ban. Right. And here's the other thing I want to say real quick to people. and this is from a bipartisan comment as well. And I'm gonna actually, I think one of my followers, my TikTok followers, actually, was very eloquent with the way that they put this. A lot of you guys like to assume how I lean politically, and it's fine for you to assume. Some of y'all are right, some of y'all are wrong, but I can tell you that nobody knows, and it's not a simple answer. Okay, but here's what I can tell you: when Biden was elected, I hoped and want him to do a good job. When Trump has now been elected, I hope and want him to do a good job. I'm in this country with all of you guys. All of you guys who are in here with me who are Americans, I'm here with all of y'all. Y'all are all my countrymen and women and people, right? And wanting the president to fail, wanting the president to do a bad job is like being on a plane and wanting the pilot to crash. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I disagree with the sentiments that you guys have of anybody. I'm not saying that I disagree. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying as me saying a support for one person over the other. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that whoever's in charge of this country, I want our leaders to do a good job. Because if they do a good job, we all succeed. If they fail and do a bad job, we all fail. This isn't an opportunity for people to bash Biden or Trump or anybody at this point. That's not what my thing's about. I don't want that dissension, because right now what we need to focus on is coming together as a country and realize that what has been done here today, even though it will very likely be back in 36 hours, what has been done here today, as Americans, we should be up in arms and livid about this. This is a direct violation of our rights, of our Constitution, that everybody wants to fight for. And the other thing, LOL, you're talking about stuff that doesn't matter anymore. Oh, I'm going to say this last thing I'm going to say to him real quick, and then I'm going to come back to the other question. LOL, I hope that you don't have a smartphone or a tablet or a computer or a television or anything in your car, or a car, that the chip was made in China. You hypocritical jackass. We can talk about China and humanitarianism, and that is a different discussion, and that's not what we're doing here today. But unless you have purged your entire life of anything that was made in China, which is damn near impossible to do, like purging your life of plastic, I guarantee you your stuff has not been made. All of your stuff has not been made in Taiwan. I guarantee you that. TikTok is a national security threat. No, it is not. No, it is not. It's not. Now, LOL, the conversation that we're having here is irrelevant, like the other person. So here's the thing about free speech. I have this free speech to come on here, but I'm allowed on my platform to give consequences. And my consequence to you is we're talking about things that are irrelevant and you're not being helpful as an American. So I'm going to put you in timeout. Not ban. You're just in timeout. Jason thinks I'm a national security threat. I am a national security threat, specifically to people whose names start with the letter J. Now, that being said, let me go back. There's a question that was asked that was really good. Where did it go? There's a starred thing. Let me find it. This one. Alex said it. Perplexity AI bids to merge with TikTok. Wouldn't a merger be better than an algorithm would say? I think a merger is good. I think a merger with a company other than X or Meta would be fantastic. I think that the option of Mr. Wonderful, I think there's, from my understanding from people that I know in the industry, that there's supposedly 7 offers on the table, maybe 8 now with the Perplexity one. Oh, the guy who said TikTok was, got you. Sorry, Jason. Sorry, then I take it back. That's why I was just joking when I said, because my name starts with a J too. Sorry, buddy. My apologies. All right, let me keep reading y'all's questions. I want to answer your questions because this is very different than what we normally do. I know that everybody's got a lot of feelings right now. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I apologize to you, Jason. I'm going to put you up here. I apologize. I formally and humbly apologize to you. Sometimes it's hard to tell when the comments are going. Sorry about that. I'm going to put you up here and formally sorry and be like, I didn't mean to be an ass to you. Sorry. Sometimes I get to pop off, and that's what it is. All right, let's talk about what Steph said. CEO is Singaporean. Sir, do you have any affiliation with China? No, Senator. I'm Singaporean. Did you? I fought in the Singaporean army. Yes, and he's married to an American citizen. All the servers are here in America. There are no servers in China for TikTok. The company ByteDance is owned in China and headquartered in China, but they have operations and an American headquarters here, and it is not a national security threat. And let's talk about something else real quick, because we're talking about this kind of stuff too. Well, we'll talk. Let me come back to Red Note in a minute. Don't let me forget. Here's what this taught me, though. I learned something. I think we should all learn something. Let me turn this down. I think we should all learn something by what happened with this. And here's what I think we should learn. I have never seen our U.S. Congress and Senate work so well together as they came together to ban this app. Right? All right, man. I'm glad we're good, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, they're in LA, and there's actually an office. I mean, not a headquarters, Ethan, but an office here in Nashville. Yes, Alex, I will come back to that. I promise you. Don't let me forget it. They learned that they came together. They worked really, really quickly. Yeah, Jason, I get it. That's my TikTok following right there. That's my exact number. So I feel you. I feel you. Why are we? And I'm saying this as somebody who owns firearms too. So I'm not anti-2A. I don't want people coming out like, you're against guns. No, I'm not. I'm against children getting shot in schools. Why 26 years after Columbine almost are we still dealing with that problem? Why, if they can shut down an app like that, why are we still dealing with CSAM? For those of y'all who don't know what CSAM is, child abuse material. We don't call it the P word anymore because the P word indicates consent. I don't know much about Perplexity Pitbull Lover, but it sounds cool. And when Aaron Parnas talked about it, he didn't seem angry about it. So Liz agreed. But they can't come together for good. So our children can still sit in schools and get shot at. Did you guys know that the Appalachia school in Georgia that had that shooting actually had another firearm threat? A student brought a firearm into that school last week. They were able to get the situation before they could do anything, and the student was arrested. And then after their second event, they put metal detectors in. Right? So tell me that that's not more of a threat to security. Tell me that's not more of a threat to security than us talking on TikTok. Hold on. This is what you get. This comment, this is so good. Where'd you go? 100%. 100% that. 100% that. Krista, I don't blame you one bit. Seven's not wrong either. Seven's not wrong in here. Oh, you can't use A. You can't say the A word either. Gotcha. Thank you. Emphasis. I don't know. I don't do as much on here, so I didn't know that. Thank you. Somebody else said something I wanted to come back to. Let me go back to it. They talked about the other apps. Oh, they talked about Red Note specifically. Let's talk about Red Note. Yes, Red Note is in fact a bigger threat to security. It's actually a threat. We literally, those of us who signed up for Red Note did so giving our information willingly to the Chinese Communist government, including myself, because I don't care. What are they going to get from me? A bunch of news videos about America? You know? Yes, Katie, we are live. Katie, we are not live, actually. Sorry. You know? You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say, but I'm going to say it anyways. If there were more people who were allegedly like Luigi, we'd probably see a whole lot. We'd see gun reform. If there were more people like Luigi, if there were more situations like what happened allegedly with Luigi, you would see our children would be safe. Again, I'm not against firearms. Somebody talking about the government not being able to have TikTok on the phones. That's correct. But it's not because of a national security threat. It's from a perceived national security threat. And by the way, I don't condone murder, just so y'all are aware, or the M word. I don't condone that. I don't condone what he allegedly did. But he sent a loud message for sure. I also don't have to mourn the death of the guy who died, right? But our kids are less important to them, as somebody, as you just said, Regina. Our kids are less, or not Regina, who said it? Dolores said it. Somebody said I must watch too much CNN. No, I don't watch too much CNN. I actually don't watch CNN at all. I get my news from I will tell you this. I get my news from more sources than you could count. Unalive, yeah, sorry. I get my news from more sources than you could begin to imagine. I promise you that. Yeah, exactly. I live in the South too. I got a whole cabinet full of them. Right? People, so here's what happened. If you go back to the beginning of this, and by the way, if you came in late while I'm live and you want to scroll back to the beginning, YouTube records, which is fantastic that they do this. I love YouTube. I love my YouTube folks. We talked about Meta, and Meta is the reason why Meta pushed the narrative with $20 million in lobbying. They spent $20 million in lobbying to tell Congress that TikTok was a perceived threat because they were afraid of the competition. Yeah, I'm nobody's. Here's the thing about, so okay, y'all, we're getting into the firearm chat real quick, and I don't want to go too deep down that rabbit hole. Here's the thing. There is no world in America where you could ever possibly take away every firearm in America. There are more firearms than people in this country. You would never do that. You can't do that. It's not possible. It's not feasible. So that needs to get out of everybody's idea right now, out of their head. That's not going to happen. But you can make it harder for problematic people, and a lot of that starts with mental health, right? No, I know. I'm not saying you were, Sage. I'm just saying that there is a way, in my opinion, that they can coexist peacefully, right? So emphasize, I love you because I'm frustrated by you, but I love you because you're keeping me good, you know? You're keeping me good. But anyways, it's very frustrating, guys. It's very disheartening. And as Americans, we should be up in arms. And frankly, if Trump extends the 90 days, it's going to be hard to protest, right? Because it's like, oh, what are you protesting? We have it back. But I really feel like we need to send a strong message to Alex. I don't know that. Let me check. I'll check that right now. We need to send a strong message to our politicians. All right. Okay, let's get the answer to your question because we want to be honest, right? Okay, so Google did lobby, but not in the way Meta did. Let's talk. Let me break this down for y'all. Let's break it down right now because about my platform. X is not a third party of Red Note that I'm aware of. They're completely different countries owned by different people. One's Chinese, and there's no way they would throw their hat in with Elon Musk. I can tell you that right now. They're too under control of their people to be able to do that. Mickey, I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm gonna circle back to that. Let me read this because I think I want to put up. Where's the comment? Where's our comment? Where's my Google comment? I lost it. Whoever said the comment about Google, I didn't Google lobby against it. I'm answering that. I'm trying to find it one more time. I want to talk about that. All right, I can't find it, but I can read to you. So here's the answer. So yes, Google, which is part of Alphabet, has been involved in lobbying against TikTok, though it hasn't been as vocal or directly involved. Oh, it's in the super chat? Okay, let me get from the super chat. There it is. Alex did it. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Alex, also. Alex has had some really good stuff tonight. I've used a few of your comments. Yes, Google, which is part of Alphabet, has been involved in lobbying against TikTok, though it hasn't been as vocal or as directly involved as Meta. Google has expressed concerns about TikTok's rise due to its dominance in the short video space and how it impacts YouTube, a major competitor in its area. Google has lobbied for stronger regulations on tech platforms, and while its lobbying efforts aren't solely focused on TikTok, the company has been part of the broader industry lobbying efforts related to content moderation, data privacy, and national security concerns. Given that TikTok's success has siphoned engagement and advertising dollars from YouTube, Alphabet's interest in limiting TikTok's influence is clear, although it's not as aggressive as Meta's direct lobbying against TikTok. Additionally, Alphabet has been involved in campaigns related to data security and privacy, which are issues frequently tied to TikTok's controversial status. However, much of the focus has been on Meta's direct lobbying and spending, and its spending to frame TikTok as a national security threat, with Google positioning itself more as a broader part of an industry narrative on regulation rather than a direct competitor against TikTok, push against TikTok. So here's what that says. Let me break that down for those who were like, what the hell is he talking about? Basically, yes, Google has been involved in the conversation, but not as positioning TikTok as a national security threat. What Google has been saying is that we need to, from all social medias, have better strength when it comes to privacy, data security, and just regulations as a whole throughout that entire thing. They've not spent money with lobbying against it. They've just been part of the discussions. And when TikTok's come up, it's just been as it's another social media platform. So, yeah. Nancy Pelosi's got 1 million. Yeah, a lot of them. There's actually a like a website called Open Secret, and you can see what politicians are invested in. I did Meta, but didn't go past 18. But a lot of our people, have stock in Meta, which is very curious, right? Now, somebody asked another question that I can't remember what it was. I said I'd come back to. If I don't remember and I said that, please ask it again. Do you not think Meta is loving us going to Facebook, Instagram? Do you not think Meta is loving us going to Facebook, Instagram? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, they are. Which is why, if you are able to, I am doing this. If you want to, Red Note shady and not secure, 100%. Kimmy, Red Note is shady and not secure, 100%. But that was the point. That was the point Americans want to make. We knew that when we signed up for it. So yeah, I'm going to encourage people, like I said at the beginning of this, if you have Facebook or Meta or Instagram or even WhatsApp and you use those, and you don't have to use those, meaning it's not a work-related thing, because I know that there are some people that you have to use them. There's no way around it. And I get that and I understand that. And I'm not talking to you if that's the case. But for your personal situations, if you would like to join myself, other creators, other users in boycotting Meta for the next week or longer to take money out of Zuckerberg's pocket to help lose stock for them, if you advertise on there, stop advertising on there, then I can encourage you to do that. You can shut your accounts down altogether. You can deactivate them, or you can just not post and leave them. Like I posted a video right on Meta right before I came here, basically saying I explained everything that I said to you guys tonight in a minute and 30 seconds in regard to Meta's role in this TikTok ban. And I'm leaving that up there I'm leaving that up there on Meta. I'm complaining about Meta on Meta about Meta. So that's, but I'm not going to post. I have almost 200,000 followers there. I'm not going to post. So I'm not going to run ads. I have books that I need to sell. I got hard covers and soft covers of this book right here. Still I need to sell. The only ones that I have left. And I would rather sit on that inventory. I'd rather sit on that inventory than sell it on Meta. So I'll just have a bunch of the same book. Oh yeah, I'll be damned if I go live on Instagram. I can actually, so I'm going through StreamYard and I could actually go live on Insta at the same time. Yes, so I want to put what Dolores says. Dolores, yes, and I will create a video in the next day or two about how to do that for people who want to do that, to make sure that Meta makes as little against you. I'm going to pin this because this is shameless self-promotion. Yes, please buy it. I'll tell you what, if I've not seen Whatnot. Here's what I'm going to say, guys. I lowered the price on TikTok Shop to basically what my cost was of the books to move them. So unless you really want to pay full price, don't buy them tonight. Okay. And I can lower the price tomorrow or whatever. If you want to buy them at full price to support me, you can. No, I can absolutely sell them here, Stacy. And frankly, if I have enough interest, I can lower the price for everybody on the one book that I have left, and I can do a live book signing with you all if that's something that you guys would like to do. I do that on TikTok a lot, so just let me know. I did it on Happy Camper, so I did it on Facebook too. I changed my logo, but I'm verified on Instagram, so I can't just change my profile picture on without their permission, basically. Yes, I don't put this too. Do not uninstall. It is unavailable in the app stores. Yes, Mickey, yours with the question. Yours with the question. I emphasize, I just need you. You're like the FCC for me. And I mean that in a good way. I mean that in a good way. I hope that you follow. By the way, if you're new here, please consider hitting the follow, subscribe button to make sure the notification bell is on. Yeah. So I find this very interesting. And what I'm about to get into, I need to make this very, 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 very clear. Okay. Very clear. What I'm about to say is not based in fact. It's based in just my thinking. WhatsApp is Meta 2. Yes. How we know, believe me, Deb, if TikTok goes back up, we'll know. Believe me. All right. So within the last 24 to 48 hours, people started getting a request from Facebook to link your TikTok account. And I actually have a theory on that. I'm going to pin this what Jason just said real quick. I'm going to come back. You know, I'm going to do this. Hold on real quick. Let me do this. And then I'm going to come back and pin yours. I can do that. Let me finish this and I'm going to pin what Jason said. All right. They started asking you to link your account. I did not do it because F that. On top of that, on the clock app, because emphasize is making me is correcting me so I don't get to, but on the clock app, the thought bubbles that you have on Insta started showing up. Right? You guys notice that? There were a few other things too. Right? And I find it very weird. I think that something's going on. I don't know what it is. I don't think that it's Meta buying TikTok. I don't know if it's a merger. I don't know if there's some type of thing between Zuckerberg and Cho. I don't know. But there's something, to me, there's something weird. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right. Something's weird about all of that. All right. My best guess, though, if there's not anything, why TikTok? This is a guess. Please don't take this and be like Justin said this and it's fact, because it's not fact. It's an educated wish. Just kidding. It's educated guess. I wonder if they're trying to get people to link their accounts to Facebook for the purpose of trying to reverse engineer the algorithm. Because by linking your data, right, they get everything. They can go in there. They know they can feed it into whatever systems they have. And that makes me wonder. But I want to pin this while we talk. Frankly, I wouldn't do it. It's a trap. It's a trap. So I don't know. Again, don't run it as fact. It's not fact. It's not fact. But it makes me like it's gotta be worse than I don't know. It's gotta, there's something. Let me tell you something. If Zuckerberg is involved, it's gonna be shady. That's the bottom line. If Zuck is involved, I wish I could say this. If it's Zuck, you're gonna get it. But you know, it's a trap. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Weird though, right? I'm gonna pin this next one because he's giving you guys data. No, it's not gonna work on TikTok. It's not gonna work on TikTok, but it could work on CapCut, I guess. If it's Zuck, it's gonna suck. That's bad. That's good, just as good. How does he sleep at night? Probably very well. Let me tell you everything I need to know about Zuckerberg. Okay, he bought a $200,000 Porsche Cayenne, but his wife wanted a minivan. So he took a beautiful $200,000 Porsche Cayenne and turned it into a minivan. And that tells me everything I need to know about him. You could always link it for friends, Cody, but this is what they're doing now is different. It's different. You could always like link the contacts. Anyways. Would I go back to TikTok if Zuck's involved? Oh my God. It'd be hard. It's hard. It's hard to walk away from this. It's hard to walk away from that. That's 4 years of building, maybe 4.5 years of building. It's hard to walk away from doing all of that. It is. It's hard. Yeah, my homework for y'all, watch The Social Network. I would love Mark Cuban to do it too. I like Mark Cuban. Yeah, I'm going to work in the next day or so to get all my stuff unlinked from Meta as well, as much as I can. Last thing I want to say is this. I still have a link tree. I don't know how to get you to my link tree, though. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Can I link something into free? I want to see if I can do something for you guys. Hold on for a second. Don't scroll out. Just give me a second, okay? My channel. Can I link? Okay. I think I can do this. Oh, I can share an external link. Okay, hold on. Give me a second, guys. I want to do something. I'm going to do something. I need you guys to do me a favor. And if you're watching this later, I need you to do me a favor as well. Okay. Links. I'm going to share my link tree. I'm going to put it right now in my bio here on YouTube. Okay. So I can go here and save it. Oh, that's the link. All right. I'm publishing it right now. So when you go to my channel, you view my channel, you can see the description of my thing. And then there will be, you hit the more button and you should see a couple links. Oh, so the other one's not up yet. Oh, I haven't done this yet. Let me refresh it. You should see a couple links. The second link should be my link tree. Why is it not showing yet? If not, I'll just get rid of the one and we'll do the other one. Maybe it'll show up. I don't know. But I'm trying to put it there so you guys can go to it. I can also put it on my website. Let me do that just in case as well. So my website is JustInTheNickOfCrime. Let me put it there. So here, okay. So while I'm doing this for y'all real quick, I want to kind of let you know what we got going on. So basically, the petition that was created by Rokon still needs signatures. I'm going to tell you why it still needs signatures. Okay. It needs signatures because it's going to be still shown to Biden while he's in office to try to get him to do something about this, which I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's going to fall on deaf ears, unfortunately. However, it's also going to be shown to Trump, right? For how many people, want this. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make the very top link on my profile on my website. I'm going to make it to my link tree. And if y'all want to sign it, I'll tell you, it'll be live in 2 seconds. If y'all want to sign it, please go there. Okay. Next steps, publish. All right. It should be there. Now, okay. So if you go to my website, JustInTheNickOfCrime.com, you can go sign that petition. At the end of the petition, it'll ask you to donate money, or if you want to donate money like all the petitions do, like even change.org does. You do not have to do that. That's okay, Nicole. You don't have to. I appreciate you being here. You just being here to support. For everybody who did gift and who has supported, I so appreciate y'all. It truly means the world to me. And if y'all are just here spending time with us, it still means the world to me. Please go to, in fact, I'll put it up here real quick so you'll have the website. Hit that subscribe while I do that real quick. And this one, here it is. I'm going to scroll at the bottom. That is my website. That is just what I already have there. Okay. So I'm not like, I just didn't retype it. But if you go to that website, what if can I make this static instead of ticker? I don't want it to ticker. I don't think I can make it not a ticker. All right. What's a ticker? But if you go to that website, you can sign it. It's so if you scroll down to my link section, you can go to that. And if you're there and you want to purchase a copy of Boundaries, hardcover or softcover, those are the only ones I have in stock. And if you want to follow any other socials while you're there, feel free to do that as well. But anyways, guys, it is 12:35. I'm going to get some sleep. I'm tired. Well, you're supposed to sign. I'm late. Allegedly, it's okay if you're late. And by the way, if you are coming in late, you can. Kate, I agree. And if you go back to the beginning of this, at the very, very beginning, Kate, I explain exactly how meta is involved. Somebody asked where I'm going. Yeah, let me explain that too. I'll tell you guys a couple other things. So, somebody asked where you should sign. If you go to my website, which is scrolling, JustInTheNickOfCrime.com, and you scroll down to my link section, the very top link is one for my link tree. You click on that, you'll see a petition at the very top link of the link tree. So go to that and sign it. It basically is that is going to be presented to the outgoing and incoming presidents. It is not like here's a change.org one that's not going to go anywhere. And I'm not trying to like dissuade people from signing petitions. I think they're fantastic and they're definitely powerful when used correctly. This one is being put together by a U.S. House representative, and he is going to show it to the presidents. So please go see that. That being said, somebody asked what's next for my content. I actually, and I don't have it linked here. Yes, should link it here. I have it. There's a brand new YouTube channel called Real. I have not told you guys about this. TikTokers have heard about this briefly, but I've not told y'all. There is a new channel that we created called Real, REEL Victims. All right. It is a podcast channel. If you go there, you will see one promo video. I'm doing that with my friend Dan Catullo, who is a Hollywood director, producer, writer, primarily does documentaries. And what we are doing is we are exposing Hollywood when it comes to these types of situations. The first one that we did, we flew out to Las Vegas. We met with, while they were there at a convention, we met with the family of Gabby Petito, and we zoomed in her best friend, and we got them to watch the movie that was made about them and tell what's truth and what's fiction. Yeah, Real Victims with an S. Real Victims with an S. Go to a website called Open Secret. Google a website called, I can't remember if it's .com, .org, whatever it is, Open Secret. And you'll find it there. Look for Meta. But anyway, so that's what we're doing. Keep signing that petition. It's very important. Right? Please follow along if you want to on my goal to 50,000. But yeah, if you want to go subscribe to it, I don't have a link to. I'll need to do that for y'all. But it's called Real Victims. Yeah, this is what it looks like. It's Real Victims podcast. That's exactly what it is. We will be dropped. So I know the Gabby Petito has a documentary getting ready to drop. The family does on Netflix in the not terribly distant future, and our episode will drop around the same time. That TikTok subscriber count is. Here's the thing about this: it will be back in, I believe, in 36 hours. Okay. If it doesn't, then it is a tribute to what was. How do you find that link, Real Victims? It's just, you can go to YouTube. It's basically youtube.com/@realvictims. REEL. That's what it is. Yeah, you know what, Nicola? Go for it. It probably will let you. I mean, you guys are affected by not having American content. But I love the fact that we got a Kiwi here. That's pretty awesome. Anyways, guys, it is 12:38. I am tired. I love y'all. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know it's been a tough night. Every one of y'all get some sleep. How do I stop scrolling this? Everybody get some sleep. Fight's not over. Sign the petition. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. We'll be back tomorrow night. Bye, guys.